The purpose of the day was to engage with the guys at Swansea Council and specifically the scrutiny committee to talk about the different ways in which we in the Assembly gather people's thoughts and how we get the public engaged in the Assembly's business. So when it comes in particular looking at the ways in which we gather evidence for committee inquiries. What we hope that today kind of showcased was not only the different ways in which we do it, but also a lot of the planning work that goes on behind the scenes to enable that to happen, and also what some of the members kind of think of that and what actual impact it has on the scrutiny process and the way that the Assembly holds the government to account, essentially.
Public engagement is a really important issue for local government scrutiny. It's something that really scrutiny can be doing on behalf of local councils, but also trying to get the public involved in the work that it's doing, which focuses on some really important issues for local people. But we also know it's a massive challenge. It's really difficult, and I think a lot of local councils struggle, a lot of scrutiny committees struggle to get the public involved. So when we had the chance to come and talk to the Assembly about how they do their engagement for their scrutiny work, we jumped at the chance. We were really excited. And it's been great. We've learned a lot about different techniques and tools that the Assembly have been using. So, for example, Google Plus to do web chats is something that we'll definitely be looking at, and Storyfy is something that the Assembly have been using as well for their committees, and that's something that we'll be exploring.
Some of the discussions we had today were particularly around how we involve officials at an early enough stage to enable more creativity and more opportunities for engagement, in particular around the work of committees. So we have this thing in the Assembly which is referred to as an integrated team, which is essentially people from different disciplines that support the committee process. So you have people from like a research discipline, a committee discipline, from a legal discipline, and from a communications perspective, that all are informed about upcoming work and all have the opportunity to contribute and shape the work that's going to go ahead. Another thing I think that's worth considering is that when we do engagement work for committee consultations, we're very reliant on external organisations and external bodies, actually reliant on a lot of contacts we have within local authorities to put us in direct contact with service users. So another kind of reason for us having those discussions at an early enough stage is to enable those people that we want to work with throughout the course of an inquiry to have enough time to arrange things on our behalves and with us. So we may work to a certain pace, but those people outside of the Assembly may work to a quicker pace or may work to a slower pace, depending on the amount of resource and so on and so forth that they may have.
It was really interesting to hear how the Assembly talk to external organisations and start talking to them about getting the public involved in these different processes, not just sitting in your own box inside the council and trying to think what might work best, but actually starting all those conversations, building all those networks, so that when you start doing the work, you're on a really firm footing in terms of knowing what's going on. That's the first thing. I think that the second thing then is we've had some really interesting conversations about how working with politicians, and it's local councillors that are involved in scrutiny in local government, it's Assembly members that are involved in scrutiny in the Assembly, how that makes the research process perhaps a little bit different to normal research processes. We actually use the phrase weird research just to describe the way in which it's the same but different. And my overriding kind of message is thinking about the importance of members being involved in the process all the way through. So we were very fortunate to have input from a couple of Assembly members today. One of the things they told us is about the value of actually being present when the evidence is being given, so that they've got a real feel for what people are telling the inquiry, what people are telling scrutiny, so that when they come to write their final report, they've got a real picture and understanding of where people are coming from. And I guess the third thing that's been really interesting learning point around today is really thinking really carefully about who you need to speak to and how you're going to speak to them. And in fact, those are the two questions that we learnt that the Assembly inquiries use at the beginning of every process, and actually planning your work very clearly about the people that you want to speak to. And actually, don't worry about the methods. until you've spoken to people and worked out who it is that actually needs to be involved, because people want to be involved in different ways. Some people want to have written information, a lot of people want to be involved through the paper, the local press, other people will be happy to get involved through Twitter and social media, but it's about ensuring it's just a flexible conversation as you go along with the inquiry and not being too hard and fast with the rules.